Hello and welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, please do not forget to like and subscribe, get involved with the chat, follow us, do all that fun stuff, right? Please do get involved, please do share, please do leave your comments on this as well, because this is a slightly polarizing one today, so I'm having to tread carefully a little bit. So today I'm going to speak a little bit about Glastonbury, and not so much about the kind of music, but all of the kind of noise that goes around Glastonbury. It's such, in the UK especially, it's such a big kind of societal event. It does transcend music quite a lot. Everyone knows what Glastonbury is. People watch it on TV. It's massive, right? So for those of you that don't know, maybe you're not from the UK, Glastonbury is the biggest festival in the UK. It's one of the oldest music festivals in the world. It's got incredible heritage. It's incredibly difficult to get tickets. And in the UK at least, it's kind of the daddy of music festivals, right? And it is also live streamed across the BBC. So even if you haven't gone to the festival, you can watch all of the live shows, or certainly all of the big live shows on the BBC, right? And this year, that has led to quite a bit of controversy, in particular with a handful of artists speaking out on politics, right? Because obviously they're being given a platform. It's going to be live streamed all around the world. And even if not live streamed on the BBC, everyone's recording it on their phones. So therefore, certain artists like to take this as an opportunity to speak their mind. So this year we had an ongoing issue with Kneecap, who were current, I don't know if they still are, but certainly at the time were facing criminal charges, terror offences. So there was a lot of conversation about whether their set should be live streamed or whether they should be on the BBC, when they technically do have criminal charges against them. There was also an issue with Neil Young, who had spoken out against the corporate nature of Glastonbury, and therefore I think Glastonbury actually didn't play his live stream. He wasn't on it at all. Although, to be honest, he clashed with Charlie XCX, who was playing at the same time, and I don't think anyone went to go see Neil Young in that choice. I think Charlie XCX pretty much bodied him on that one. But the thing that really caught my attention was the punk artist Bob Vylan, who really did go quite hard in their political stance in their performance, right? Now I won't kind of go into the details of what's been said, but it's not hard to find. Just a little Google will find you this, right? But yeah, he was quite outspoken on his opinions on the Middle East, and Of course, I'm certain that those are his views legitimately. But the one thing that I should say to start with is that is an exceptional use of your platform in order to market yourself. Now, I'm not saying that he did it exclusively for marketing. Two things can be true at once. Calm down. But I'm saying he did use that platform in order to say these things with a knowledge that it would help with his exposure, right? So being live streamed on the BBC like that, performing as part of Glastonbury, it is about the best exposure you can possibly get in this country, right? As publicity, it's an incredible opportunity, right? So if you take that opportunity and you say something highly controversial, it's going to explode like wildfire, right? And it has. That kind of shock marketing he's played it like an absolute dream. Even though the festival have condemned it, the Prime Minister has condemned it, a lot of the kind of public have condemned it, I can promise you Bob Vylan will have gained a lot of fans from that. Because what the best marketing does is it excludes the people that you don't want to be anything to do with you, which is what he's done. His or their target audience is highly kind of left-leaning people, right? And the things that he has said, highly kind of left-leaning people probably do agree with him. So he's speaking to them, and he's speaking to no one else. He's not bothered what anyone else thinks. So it's a masterstroke in that respect. Again, I'm not saying that he doesn't believe it, or that isn't his genuine political stance, but it is also marketing. It's both. So the thing is about this, right? And this is where Glastonbury has kind of got a problem. Or maybe you think it's a problem, maybe you don't, right? But they do get a lot of complaints every year. It does seem to cause a lot of issues every year, right? It's not actually Glastonbury that's the problem. It's the fact that it is streamed on the BBC. And I'll explain to you what I mean by this, right? In case you're not aware, the BBC has strict impartiality rules politically, right? What that means is, in any political coverage, they have to give equal credence to either side of the debate. So, for example, during Brexit, the BBC had to give equal screen time to the Remain campaign and the Leave campaign, right? They can't, but basically the BBC can't be seen to be politically leaning one way or the other because we pay for it. It's supposed to be a completely impartial media outlet, right? So bear with me. That is in contradiction to Glastonbury's own political stance, which they've been quite open since the start that they are a left-leaning entity. That's kind of where that's where their politics is, right? That's what they were kind of founded on. That's their thing, right? So when you give artists or anyone, particularly artists, right, a platform like this, and there's, I don't know how many people play Glastonbury over the weekend, but hundreds, thousands even, right? When they're on this platform, some of them are going to say some things that not everyone agrees with, right? And that is a contradiction to the BBC's impartiality rules. So Glastonbury and the BBC have kind of tied themselves in knots a little bit here, because the broadcaster has an ideology which is not consistent with the festivals. The festival would probably like to just be like, cool, say what you want. But because of their ties with the BBC, that becomes a lot more difficult. The only way around it is if you do say, right, the BBC would, for example, say, right, all artists performing on this show, their views do not represent the BBC or anything like that, right? But then you also risk someone saying something slightly far right. Do you see what I mean? You either have to be impartial or not partial or don't do it, right? But the thing is, Glastonbury would never book someone with far right ideologies. Do you see what I mean? So there's a real contradiction there. So I wonder if what might end up happening is if Glastonbury at some point will cut ties with the BBC. Because why wouldn't Glastonbury film, distribute, own and publish all of this content themselves, right? In a kind of Netflix style model. They have the resources to do that. I would have thought so. If BBC could do it, which is not a particularly well-funded organisation, I would have thought Glastonbury could. And if they did that, they wouldn't have to abide by any of these impartiality clauses. So I wonder if in the future we might start seeing Glastonbury taking a bit of ownership of this and saying, right, we're going to record and live stream all of the content ourselves through like a Glastonbury TV, i.e. like a Netflix type model. They're going to record and own their content and distribute it, and then you obviously pay to see it. And then that way they would make their own rules in terms of politically what they want on their platform. I don't know. Food for thought. I don't know the intricacies of it, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way you see that going. You see that happening a lot with sport now. There's a lot of people saying that the Premier League or the NFL, for example, should have their own channel and own their own content. Why wouldn't Glastonbury do that? Anyway, food for thought. Please do comment below. Just a bit of a touchy subject, this one, but you know, I'd